AI is making more and more decisions that have huge real-world consequences. But what happens when those decisions go horribly wrong? Well, in this explainer, we're going to unpack one of the most pressing legal and ethical questions of our time. Who's to blame when AI makes a mistake? So let's just get right to it. Picture this. A self-driving car crashes. Who's on the hook? The person who's supposed to be watching the road? The company that built the car? The programmers who wrote the code? Or could it actually be the AI itself? This isn't some far-off sci-fi problem anymore. This is happening right now, and as you're about to see, the answer is anything but simple. To really get to the heart of this, we need to look at a real-world case that blasted this exact question all over the headlines. Okay, so rewind to March 2018. A self-driving Uber in Arizona hits and kills a pedestrian. Now, there was a human supervisor in the car, but they were looking down, distracted. In the end, that supervisor was charged with negligence, but Uber, the giant company behind the AI, they faced 0 criminal charges. And that outcome, right there, really sets the stage for this whole massive dilemma.
So, if we want to figure out where the blame should go, we first need some kind of framework for what responsibility even is. And it turns out philosophy has given us a pretty handy test for it.
First things first, we got to be super clear about the kind of AI we're talking about. On one side, you've got narrow AI. This is everything we have today, things like ChatGPT or self-driving cars. They're amazing at specific tasks, but they have absolutely no free will, no self-awareness. On the other side, you've got general AI. That's the sci-fi stuff, AI with human-like consciousness. That's still completely theoretical. So for this whole discussion, let's be clear. We are only talking about the narrow AI that's out there in the world right now.
But here's the twist. Even this so-called narrow AI is getting powerful at a completely astonishing rate. I mean, its capabilities aren't just growing, they are absolutely exploding. Just look at this. It's wild. In 2022, an AI called GPT 3.5 took the US bar exam and scored in the bottom 10%. Flunked it, basically. Just 1 year later, the next version, GPT-4, didn't just pass. It scored in the top 10% of all human test takers. A leap in competence that massive in just 12 months? It's staggering.
And yet, and this is the crucial part, that incredible capability does not equal moral responsibility. No matter how smart an AI gets at passing a test or driving a car, it simply doesn't have the moral agency to be held accountable for its actions.
So why not? Well, moral philosophy, going all the way back to Aristotle, gives us a really simple 2-step test for this. To be responsible for something, you need 2 things. Number 1, you have to be able to choose your action freely. And number 2, you have to understand the consequences of that action. Pretty straightforward, right? Free choice and understanding.
And based on that test, today's AI fails on both counts. It doesn't have the free will to choose, and it certainly doesn't have the consciousness to understand the real-world impact of its choices. It has immense capability, sure, but it's missing the absolute core of what makes something responsible: awareness. Okay, so if we can't blame the AI, then the responsibility has to land on a person, right? Well, that brings us to the most common answer we have right now, and all of its deep, deep flaws. Just blaming the human in the loop. See, blaming the human, like that Uber supervisor, seems like the easy way out, but it's a really tricky path. For one thing, these AI systems can often act way faster than any person could possibly react. Then you have to ask, who exactly is the human? An AI is built by huge teams of people, so is every single person on the team to blame? And to make it even messier, these AI models often get reused in ways the original creators never ever intended, leaving them with no control at all. But the problem gets even deeper when we try to trace a mistake back to the people who actually created it. That's because we run smack into a huge technical wall known as the black box problem. So what is this black box? Well, with a lot of these advanced AIs, engineers can design the system and feed it tons of data to learn from. But, and this is the kicker, they can't fully explain the internal logic of how it makes a specific choice. Imagine a neural network with billions of connections, all tweaking themselves during training. The sheer complexity means that while we can see what goes in and what comes out, the reasoning in between is often a total mystery. And that makes pinning the blame for one bad decision on the developers incredibly difficult, if not impossible. All of this brings us into focus. Our current approach of just blaming the nearest human isn't a real solution. It's a band-aid. It's a temporary stopgap for a problem that is only going to get bigger and bigger as AI gets more powerful and woven into every part of our lives. We're essentially trying to apply old, outdated rules to a fundamentally new kind of problem. And this leaves us in a really precarious spot. We've created systems that have immense power, but zero moral agency. As this technology keeps evolving, our centuries-old rules about responsibility are being stretched to their absolute breaking point. So the real challenge here isn't just about assigning blame for yesterday's accident. It's about designing totally new frameworks for tomorrow. Are we going to see laws that hold corporations strictly liable for whatever their AI does? Maybe we'll need new kinds of insurance or certified AI auditors. One thing is for sure, we need to figure it out and we need to do it fast.